All right, guys, take your hands down.
Whew.
Oh,
We're
yes, that's
back.
perfect. Focus. See, that's what you're supposed to do when you need focus. Is you put your hand up and then you pull it back like that. By the way, that's a little trick.
Focus.
Tell your girlfriend, no, I'm focusing on my stomach.
Talk to the
They
palm.
love
That
that.
didn't end well.
Talk to the
Every
palm.
video I've seen, every reel, that doesn't end well.
No.
Yeah. It is Valentine's week. Yeah. Try that one. See how Friday goes for you. All right. I'm Darin with Arbitrage Trade, and this is After the Bell. It is After the Bell on Wednesday, and we've had yet another week of Trump stuff happening, which has definitely impacted the markets. My guests are Daniel Hopwood, which is top right corner, and coming from another Asian area in Japan, right? They're not going to find you.
Osaka. No roosters this time.
Osaka, one of my favorite
no
restaurants.
cats.
That's right. But really packed in people going way up high, right?
Oh, my hotel room is tiny. It's pretty funny.
Ah, okay. Exactly. Yes, everything has to be tiny. It's only so much that can fit over there. All right, we've got JPM, the banker, bottom left, and we have Royce, Mr. Tinfoil hat wearing, visible tinfoil hat. Mine's always there. It's just you can't see it. And Mr. Quant, Quanticus Maximus. And so let's go ahead and jump into the market talk. Are your legs crossed?
Yes, actually, they are.
Are you sitting on them though? Okay. All right. Anyway, stock market continues to range bound. What do you mean, Daniel? We have a channel we're sticking in.
Yeah, things haven't been all too interesting. The last 2 weeks when you really look at it at a big picture, it's kind of gone up and down on a little bit of news, but S&P, if you look at the futures, is still around the 6,000 level. Crypto's kind of slowly dropped. If you look at Bitcoin from like 100,000 to between 95 and there's abouts, and just kind of falling in a compression pattern. But the interesting ones have been that the dollar has held the 108 level, but gold has finally hit its 2,900 level, which all the analysts at the beginning of the year were saying, oh, gold will go to 3,000 by the end of the year. I'm like, well, it's like kind of already there. So that one didn't take very long. So they're going to need to revise that. But it's just kind of like a interesting thing, because I feel like the market's waiting on news to move one way or another, because it's kind of just not really doing a whole lot. But the most exciting news is that we're going to stop producing pennies.
Yeah. So we'll have to stop Lionel Richie. Have to stop. Yeah, I know it's got to say nickel for your thoughts, and there's even a thought of nickels going away too. So we might have to say a dime for your thoughts. I don't know.
I don't know why we even use coins
or a crypto coin for your thoughts. I don't know. We'll have to change everything. We'll have to change Lionel Richie.
A nickel.
Josh is shaking his head like he loves like small currency.
I hate change, hate coins in general. So no.
Oh, I thought big penny stock guy. So he's like, don't take this from me.
No.
Come on, Shiba Inu. Let's go.
We'll have to explain to our grandkids that our great grandkids that what penny lever even means now when they hear Lionel Richie. All right, so let's go ahead with. Well, any thoughts on the current market there, banker?
No, not the market. I think really what seemed like the most innocuous little thing was, I kind of dove into it, was like the actual getting rid of the pennies thing. Like it's not a new debate. It's something they've tried going back to like 2012 or something. But there's a lot of good and bad, like highs and lows, like reasons that it should work, reasons that it wouldn't work. There's a lot of other countries that have done it successfully. You go to like Australia, and then I think like Malta and all of these other various places, and they've phased it out 1 and 2 cents coins years and years ago. I think with Australia, it was almost like 10 years ago now, 2015, I believe. And it's been successful in all the things that are worried. Some of the things panned out, some of the things didn't. But one of the things that I think American consumers are most concerned about is the rounding. Like if you can't round to the nearest penny, that is the lowest point of currency. You got to round up or down. And given the kind of distrust in corporations that a lot of Americans have lately,
Really?
everybody assumes they're just going to constantly round up. Other countries have adapted the model where if you go, you round up to the nearest fifth or the nearest 5 cents. So if it's like 3 plus, you'd round up, or if it's 1 or 2, you round down, and that's really only screwing you over like a handful of times. 1 out of every 5 times you do, you're in this particular dilemma. But the whole reasoning behind wanting to get rid of this penny thing is because it costs like, it was like an $84 million deficit that caused the mint. Like they were just basically, it cost like 3.7 cents to produce every penny. But the interesting thing is that doesn't solve the problem, because if you look at what it costs to produce the nickel, which is what the next form of currency would be, it costs 14 cents to produce a nickel.
Yep.
So it's not like, so then we get into the situation of, are we going to round up to a dime? Like, are we really just going to, are we going to get nix the penny and the nickel and then round up to a dime? And then you get into a vast, an exponential more question of, when do you start rounding up or down? And then 5 cents, that's a significant enough number that it actually will start affecting prices, and it may actually start hitting people's pocketbooks.
I'm going to start smelting nickels.
Or hang on to them. Yeah, or just hang on to them as collectors. Royce, anything to throw in here?
Oh yeah, I got tons.
Okay. Can I get your 10 cents worth?
Oh yeah, my 10 cents worth. That would, so while I think it's a good idea to actually stop producing the physical currency, you would wreck the foreign exchange market if you got rid of a penny or a nickel, because basically you're exchanging between countries. That penny or 10 cents or 5 cents, that's a lot. I mean, that's almost like in Australia, that's almost a tenth of their dollar if you take away a nickel, right? So that's a lot of slippage. So you can get rid of it as far as physical currency, but you still got to have it as far as, because it's a reserve currency, and it's backed by everything. I think you still would need to have it basically still calculate it at that level, but you definitely cannot just eliminate those levels. Otherwise, yeah, you would see us switching to cryptocurrency really quickly, because there's no way the infrastructure is going to support you just stealing 10% here and there across 35 major exchanges, countries, stocks. Yeah, everything would just go to chaos.
Master
plan. And that's one thing,
actually,
even further to your point, I think that's one thing that a lot of people are pushing back on. You think about eliminating the penny. You're not eliminating the number 1. You're just eliminating a physical penny, like something when you go into a cash transaction into the store. So, I mean, how many of those? I couldn't tell you the last time I've walked into a store or have left a store with pennies in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly. So like, as long as you're swiping, the unit still stays, but the physical currency is gone.
Yep. Again, it could be the master plan to convert to crypto. Who knows? I got to throw something tinfoil in there.
I thought you said you were going to be good.
I just won't talk long about it, and I won't get all red in the face.
It's a new season, Darin. Come on.
Yes, right. It's a new Darin.
Yeah.
All right.
I had my girlfriend watch Borat, and now she won't stop with the not jokes.
Oh boy.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I used to always say that to her, and she was like, "Why are you saying that?" And now she watched it, and she keeps going, "Not," and I never should have shown you that.
All right, so you're comparing me to your girlfriend. I don't understand what's going on. All right, so let's go on to. I don't get that.
Nope.
All right, so
all right, Honeywell.
Moving on. Yes.
Lady boys, what? No.
So we had another. We saw GE do this. I'm just gonna let them go, I guess, until they're done. I started it. All right.
You did.
Yes, I did. All right, so I'm gonna try to end it here. So GE did this, and now Honeywell's doing this. They're not the only ones, right? I mean, companies have done this before for sure, but it does seem like a lot of companies are starting to split up, which seems kind of shady to me. But what's Honeywell doing, Daniel?
So Honeywell is looking to split their business into 3 units, actually pretty similar to what GE did, right? So they're looking to split into aerospace, automation, and advanced materials. And according to RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, the uh, when the splits happen like this, normally some of the splits, not, every one of the companies, typically see a 50% gain in the year after the separation, which, Royce called, I forget, I think it was GE Aerospace, Royce.
Yep.
Mhm.
Royce called that towards its, early on in its split and had like, I don't know, like a 200% rise or something crazy like that since the course of Royce calling it. So we're really here to get Royce's take on what could happen here. And obviously, we will be keeping an eye on it and would not be surprised if it becomes one of our bets coming up.
Well, it does seem like, and I'll let you Royce talk on this one, but it does seem like it's just another one of those things that corporations do just to bring more money in. So, or if they have a division or they want to divide off a bad part of their corporation and have that a separate entity from a good part of their company, it's almost like when they do buybacks. It's just another way to bring more money in. But Royce, go ahead.
Okay. Well, to your point, that is a very good way to clear your balance sheets. So, like, I've working for several Fortune 500 companies. I've worked for AutoZone. I've worked for FedEx. I've worked for several big companies, and ServiceMaster was the one most notorious for this. I think
Yep.
they had 11 different companies, and
Yep.
then basically at one point or another they'd sell off one and basically give all the debt to that company, and
Yes.
then basically let that settle, and then their business would rise, and all the debt's gone, and everybody comes out smelling like roses at earnings time,
Right.
right? Well, I mean, that is a strategy. But I think more so basically allows what I've seen. I'm not going to name the company that basically was behind this, but I've seen also shadow IT, where basically, hey, you have these people here, these people here, these people there, and they don't necessarily get along. They split off the companies to allow for basically people who work well together, and basically they have a niche that they're in, and allows them to basically do what they're really good at. And a lot of what comes from that is you get good good rapport and good things. I do remember one time that backfired though. Yeah, not gonna name the company, but just know that another company resulted because they fired all of their middle management. And all their management went, well, we know how to do this. We know how to do this. You know what? We're going to call ourselves this, and let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the danger of them going off and creating their own company.
Yeah.
You get rid of all of your smart people, the ones
But
that were doing all the work.
it allowed the bigger company to shed all of its liabilities. It created
Right.
competition, and it even allowed that second spinoff company to buy up all the property that they no longer wanted because they didn't consider them a threat. So it also helped their bottom line overall. So they wind up still being kind of symbiotic, even though they're directly competing with each
Yep.
other.
Yeah. Do you got anything? You got anything there, Banker, or we pretty much hit it all?
No, there's a couple of interesting things to note. I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, to Royce's point, you can offload some debt to a various company. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do a kind of a down. It's not really a downsizing, but just you're kind of refocusing. You don't have there are three very different industries all under one umbrella, and so the folks at the top may not have the expertise to do all three of them. And so if you just branch everything or narrow everything down into 3 separate entities, you can kind of restructure things and make things look better. But to Royce's point, I think their aerospace division is almost like 40 or 50% of their entire yearly profit.
Yep.
So that's, and then their struggling automation business with, that was booming during the COVID pandemic. But now when they're trying to offload some of these things to, manufacturers and things that were booming during the COVID pandemic, but now people are just kind of going back to work in those particular industries. And so those have started to suffer. And so, yeah, you would break one of them off and roll the debt into something that's more profitable. It might hurt the numbers in the short term. And a lot of analysts are kind of looking at this as a short-term loss, but a long-term gain. Yep. You do roll that into, just offload that to them. They'll absorb it really quickly because of it's such a high margin division that they have in their aerospace that, yeah, it'll make all 3 of them leaner, meaner, and much more efficient.
Yep. Tips and tricks for corporates. Let's move on to the next one, which is we have a new beast in the market, which Amazon has now surpassed Walmart. Daniel, tell us about that.
Yeah, so for the first time ever, Amazon surpassed Walmart to dominate, the revenue shift from kind of, you can really think of it retail to online. Now, it is a bit fair to make the caveat that Amazon has things like, AWS that kind of help its revenue growth, which obviously Walmart does not. But it still does it like just kind of show the shift away from the physical retailer to, you could call it the digital retailer. Walmart's doing a lot to kind of fight back, right? It's really trying to bolster its e-com platform. I think Walmart has actually done a pretty good job of getting people in the store. But the 2 places they're really kind of fighting now is actually in the grocery space, with Amazon owning Whole Foods and it being, kind of a little bit more towards the upper class consumer, and Walmart, kind of being the step below. And, I actually didn't think about this till recently, but Amazon's acquisition of Whole Foods is incredible because I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you can just bring your box of the Amazon thing you want to return to like Whole Foods, like punch in a code in a QR thing, and it just gives you the label and you slap it on and you don't have to like worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And so,
that's nice.
was, beyond strategic in my mind.
You see the millennial goes to Whole Foods too now.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, yeah, to return my package.
Oh, man.
I can't afford to go there. This dirty ape can't afford to go to Whole Foods.
You can afford to return your package there.
Yeah, I could
That's
do that.
Right.
Yes.
There's ramen
So-
you can eat.
But yeah, ramen. Yeah, exactly. Well, it was you that had the meme with the ramen with bologna today, wasn't it?
Yes,
Or
yes, it
yesterday.
was.
Hey, that's it. You're doing well if you can put bologna with it. Yes.
Oh yeah. And no
All right,
chicken stock for you. Only water.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Water and ramen. Jail food. Yeah, it's a delivery. It's a battle between delivery, and the irony would be if things are. And then I guess we'd bring in Uber being used, or whoever's going to get used. They have their own, right? Walmart has their own delivery service now. They do their own. It's all internal. They don't use an outside source, right?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, they hire like
No.
drivers.
I don't know. I thought they did. Yeah, because it
You're
seemed like I
making up
remember.
stuff now.
Yeah. Give Uber time. Give Uber time. When Musk takes over Uber and then takes over all the delivery of everything.
Once there's one app like he's planned, we'll
That's
talk
right.
about this further.
The X app. That's right. That's right. Anything else on that as far as Amazon versus Walmart? I mean, it's going to continue to be that way. Are we getting to where we have too few bigs and not enough competition, where things are going to get more and more expensive, like they seem to be doing already, as of our last reports?
Nah.
No.
At least I don't think so. That's one of the reasons why they keep breaking them up.
We've got the FTC commissioner who's definitely not going to be. I mean, they don't like being regulated anymore. So, I mean, maybe they'll allow more monopolies to happen now, so that you'll just have 2 or 3 big companies and that's it.
Let's go corporate Congress.
I do. I think Darin does bring up a good question of like, when is too big? Because if you think about Amazon, right?
Says.
It's like, yeah, you wish.
Valentine's. I had to throw it in there. It's Valentine's. Go ahead.
Yep. If you think about Amazon, it's like, Jeff Bezos like kind of always told shareholders like, don't expect a return for a long time, right? And then they kind of invented the cloud, which really fueled the retail business, which the retail business, I believe, is profitable. Obviously not as profitable as something like AWS, but those kind of returns from that, we're able to invest in the platform and make it is what it is now, where you can get 2-day shipping on any product at a pretty reasonable price, which it's really great, right? Like, I have no complaints about that. Like, it's pretty nice. But what is the point where it's too much, right? And I think the common argument is Google, right? The search engine paid for a lot of actually, it's easy because they have so much, right? And it's like, oh, should Waymo be a part of Google? And it's like, well, like maybe at some point it shouldn't be, but like Waymo is really only getting off the ground now, and the only reason Waymo can kind of exist and its competitors are interesting was because Google made all this cash and it could just pour money into a loss leader for so long. And at what point does the government step in and kind of break these things up? I don't know, but it's like, if you do that just initially, does it kind of disincentivize companies from making these unique things that might not otherwise exist from the cash cows that they primarily operate?
Well, it might take a new administration to break things up now.
See Josh smiling. Let's get Josh's take.
No, well, I mean, it depends on which point you're trying to. But one of the best things that could have happened to Amazon was the pandemic, because it organically shifted the way consumers purchase things. Like, and as somebody who, I'll walk into Walmart and be like, it's way too people-y in here. I can just I can sit on my couch with Amazon and just like scroll and be like, I see all the recommendations, like the reviews, they'll, offer me things. I can't, if I walk into a Walmart, I'm having to search and ask somebody that may or may not be having a bad day where something is, or what, can you help me with this? Or can you just get it from the top shelf or something like that? But I go to Amazon, I'm just like, yeah, it's $140 a month, which is not a small number. And it used to be a small number. I remember when you would get, you get it for like a student discount for like $50 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And but Prime is convenient, and you can just sit there and like, I can scroll on my phone and I can make a shopping list, and I can look at all the ones that are highlighted and recommended, and I can check it out, and somebody literally brings it to me. I don't have to interact with another human, and that is kind of what the mindset that shifted during the pandemic. But the counterpoint to that is that this is also just one quarter, and it's one quarter that has Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of the holidays. So I don't think that this is going to really be like Amazon has dethroned Walmart. I think it's just kind of a one really big quarter. And then this time next year, we're going to be looking at Walmart still surpassing, that $700 billion or whatever a year that they're making.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that's right. I think that's right, because don't forget the middle to upper class are also stepping down to Walmart, even from Target. So I do think that's probably right. It'll flip.
I think most people get like their staples. The frozen goods,
especially grocery though,
and goods like groceries and stuff like that. Walmart is surprisingly reasonable as far as groceries are concerned, and it's never really fluctuated. Like their prices have actually been statistically more of the stablest. because a lot of their brands are in house and they can.
Yep.
But yeah, it's really been it's just convenient for some, to go get Walmart Plus and have all my groceries delivered. And then if I want all, the random crap, I'm just going to go on Amazon and browse the selections and have it shipped to me.
Yep. Be interesting to see. Don't forget Amazon does movies and stuff too. They have their Amazon Prime and all that. So they have talking about, I mean, it's going to be, like I said, they're going to have an X app and an Amazon app, and that's it. I mean, eventually it's crazy where we might go if we have a weak FTC. All right. So let's move on.
If, that's a big if.
Yeah. No regulation, just wild west.
Hey, the Wild West made the best movies. Okay.
Okay. Go to AMC, please.
You want good movies again, Darin? You want your stock to go up, huh?
Make movies great again.
Hey, Nicole Kidman did a nice commercial about that. All right, so let's move on to gold.
What's the goal?
So we talked about a little bit. I mean, you teased it a little bit in the first segment, but just the fact that gold is hot, kind of give us the stats there, Daniel.
Yeah, this segment's gonna turn into.
We're gonna hit 3K though, right? Aren't we? We're gonna hit 3K. I know we are.
Oh, for sure. This segment's gonna be called Royce's gold foil hat. Tin foil.
Okay. More expensive.
Yep. Very, very demure. Okay, so gold last year. That was Josh.
Okay.
Almost lost that all.
Hold together, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Gold was up 26% last year, which outpaced the market. So far this year, it's up about 10%. This is Darin's silver hat area.
Hold on, let me interrupt you there. I just want to remind everybody that AMC does own a gold 20 or a certain percent of a gold miner. So I'll leave that there. Go ahead.
AUI? Yamana?
Very bizarre.
HYMC. Okay. HYMC. Highcroft. All right, go ahead. I'm not sporting my wares. Go ahead.
Central banks last year purchased over 1,000 metric tons of gold, which is a lot. I don't even know how much that is. I just know it's a lot. Which is the most they've ever purchased in the last 10 years, with China, Poland, Turkey, and India being some of the largest buyers. I think, China is kind of the obvious one. And it just immediately makes me think of, is this, a de-dollarization move? Is this, hedge against kind of, uncertainty in the world? And my favorite question, which Royce will talk about, is silver gonna go next? Because silver is used and stuff. I know gold is too, but silver is really used and stuff. And it has not seen the same appreciation that gold has.
We'll follow.
So I will turn it over to my peanut gallery for
there he goes hosting again. Okay. Royce.
Yes. Thank you for the nice handoff, Daniel.
All right, it feels weird to just say all this stuff and then go silent.
Let's talk about silver just for a minute. Silver seems to me to be stuck in a range, right? So I think it's about $32 roughly an ounce right now, right? And it fluctuates between about $18, $19 and $32. It just can't break that. The problem with silver is that everyone they hedge, but when you hedge against your hedge, that's where you go into silver. But right now it looks like people are saying, okay, based on the chart, strictly on the charts, no economics involved at all. Based on the charts, it just threw up a brand new. Let's do crayons with this. Can we do crayons with this?
Okay, I'll just switch this over. Hold on. All right, this is After the Bell, Crayons and Charts with Royce. The gold foil and silver foil hat wearing Royce.
Precious metals hat.
Yes.
The precious metals hat, right? So this is silver on the 30-minute time frame. So basically, it did pop just a little bit today, going from about $31.80 an ounce, and it got all the way up to about $32, $36 an ounce. Not a big move, but about 50 or so cents. I'm going to go up to the daily, and a lot of people said basically it hasn't moved, but definitely this year, 2025, it's gone from $28 all the way up to about $32. So, I mean, that's more than a 10% gain for silver. And the fact that gold also had a 10% gain, it's moving on par with it. What's scary about this scenario is basically what I'm seeing on the weekly time frame. So we have that cross is usually not a good thing, by the way. So I mean that's a top out cross that happened in May of 2024, and then basically it created a double top with a little bit higher. It basically was there for just a little bit longer at about $34, and then basically had to come back down because that black line got way too close to the edge of the deflection zone, and the candles had to get drawn to it to not break the map. But looking at our dashboard indicator, we got about 30.45. That's where it wants to go before a potential buy. Basically, the buy is in danger. It's gone too far, too fast in this one direction. And the dashboard, pardon me, lets us see that he's sitting there, and with the potential, could silver make it to $38 over the course of this year? Absolutely, but first I think it has to go back down and see about 30.45. What makes me think that it is possible is that little maneuver that it did when it had to come all the way down to come all the way back up. What it did is it allowed the compass to flirt with crossing under the RSI line and then ricochet right off of it and give us 4 straight weeks of up. So is silver down and out for the count? Maybe not. Will it go back and test the RSI line? Probably so, because right at 30.45, that's 30.48. So I'm looking for one more bounce off of the black RSI line and then possibly straight out till morning all the way up to about 38.53. All right, that's all I got, guys.
All right, that's the tinfoil hat wearing Royce talking about some precious metals or metal.
Yeah, he can go far.
Unlike tin. Okay.
Hey, that's about
right,
20% gain. You know?
I mean, the guys I listen to online, that doesn't mean they're experts or anything at all. They will tell you that, but they're saying that silver will follow gold. It's going to be after.
And it has been so far. The only problem is where gold stops, silver may also stop.
Well, I know that it's been well known that there's a lot of shorts in silver, right? I mean, and gold too. So who knows how that'll all play out.
Historically, that's one of the most manipulated markets is silver.
Exactly. So I think with less regulation, it'll just continue.
We're just going to deregulate everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think I might be a Democrat. I want everything regulated. All right. So let's. I'm turning.
We have converted Darin.
That was a quick pivot.
That happened.
I kid. Believe me, I don't claim either party, but I'll take a little bit from either. So let's move on to the wager, our first one of the year. And you already see by his little hand movements, his pixelated hand movements, because he's not getting very good reception from Japan right now. They're playing with him now. I thought Japan was on our side. But, by the way, how's that carry trade going? No, we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, exactly. See, he did too much. See, he moved his arms around and then he just stopped. Okay, don't move a lot. I think that's what causes it to stop and freeze.
People are waking up in Japan.
Yeah, that's it.
Break.
That's it.
No, right? Yeah, people are getting on the Wi-Fi.
So I'll pull up the first official score board of the year, and it shows Daniel with the only one that has a mark, week 1. So not only are the apes down, but the quantitudes are undefeated now, and Daniel is in first place. How long will that last?
This is your year, Daniel, brother. This is your year.
So, for some reason, I'm thinking of what was that movie? You Can Do It.
I want you to know, we're all counting on
it. Oh, that's a different movie. Airplane, yeah. I can't think of the movie now. Come on, it's a cage. It's down in New Orleans too, Royce. Come on, what's this movie?
Happy Gilmore.
What's the line?
Is it Happy Gilmore? In the audience, he goes, "You can do it."
Oh, that you talking about Waterboy?
Oh, Waterboy, thank you. Yeah. I now can sleep tonight. I figured you'd pull it out if anybody would on movies.
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, Boucher is definitely as Cajun as it gets.
Adam Sandler movie ever.
I love that movie. That shows my brain. So he won. It was Alibaba, and something happened during the middle of the week, and I'm wondering if Daniel contacted his friends, his Apple friends, because I think there's a story about Apple's going to within China, Apple's going to use Alibaba's AI or something for their phones that are just in China, something like that. Either way, good job, Daniel. Way to get your guys at Goldman.
That and they took a 10% stake in a DeepSeek.
Yeah. All right. We'll move right along to what is it that you're picking for this week, Daniel, and then I will ask one more time if we're going to randomize who goes next or not. But I think we decided no. Look, next season we might have a really exciting little random picker next season. I'll do the tease all year. All right, Daniel. What's your stock?
We're gonna run it back to Old Faithful and go with Tesla.
Tesla. All right. So after the bell, Crayon's in charge with Royce, pulling up Tesla.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Lots of pain.
T-Pain.
It's drawing. I'm waiting for the dashboard to show up. And ooh, that's ugly. All right. All right. So come on, dashboard. You can do it. Nothing but pain on the daily time frame where we left 422 and fell on down. But look at this, guys. Looks like there's a bottom somewhere near between 312, 313-ish. And there's a top oh my goodness, that's insane. About let's do round numbers, shall we? We're gonna do 310 to 395, 390.
Wait, the penny's still here and we're already rounding?
Oh yeah, gotta do it. Because the range on this guy is crazy. He moves $30-something a day. So the range is like literally 310 to 400. And 310 to 400.
Make a lot of money on options.
That's a lot of money on options, and I would know.
All right, so we're looking at 20 each if we do 310 to 390.
Yep.
So, Daniel, what say you?
20 each.
And we're right on the edge of one. So from 310 to 310 to 330. No, that's right. 310 to 330, 330 to 350, 350 to 370, and 370 to 390.
Hey, Royce, is that a dojo candle at the bottom there?
No, that's definitely not a doji. A
Doji.
doji.
Woman
I was like, I don't think dojo candles.
It's a pregnant woman candle, though, right? A pregnant woman. Is that what they
everybody was kung fu fighting?
This is a karate candle.
Oh, that was funny.
I just think it's funny because when Royce explains something now, he might be trying to lead everybody else a certain way. So I have to take that into account.
Well, hey, look at the 2 hour. Setting up nicely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want
He's trying to aid Daniel.
30 minutes is also setting up nicely. Let's go to 4 hours.
350 to 370.
What?
All right.
Okay.
I can pick that range, right?
Yep, 350 to 370.
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
that is one of them. And now we're doing the vote. You pick the next person.
Royce.
All right. And I'm gonna pass to Darin.
Oh, he's just doing this.
Here we go again.
He admits one time to throwing a week. Just to prove.
You know what? It was funny because I almost picked Josh because he looked so upset that I picked that range.
I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, man, 360 looks perfect.
That's exactly where I would have picked as well. So I'm gonna have to. That's tough. Above or below. You know what? I'm gonna force them to take the edges So I'm gonna take 330 to 350.
Okay, 330 to 350. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Josh, you're up.
I mean, I guess I'll. Ugh.
I've got your
Yes,
faces
your
back
mind.
now.
I guess just in case it breaks down, I'll take the bottom channel.
So we are going to be close together, both of us. So we get the bottom, and y'all get the top.
Hey, it worked out exactly like I planned. Thank
I
you
knew you were
guys for
gonna say
playing.
that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Calculated risk.
And then give the appearance that you were being fair. All right.
Absolutely. It's like no one wants to actually give them to them. They want to think it was their idea.
Yeah, well, tune in and learn next week who was playing who next week.
So 370 to 390. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
All right. I just think macro, it's all going to be about macro, but we'll see within these 7 days, especially with the volatility of our president. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Y'all have a good Valentine's. I mean, between now and then, you will either still be with your person you're with or not. I'm the only one that's not doesn't have a girlfriend. It looks like.
Yikes!
Wow.
Yikes. Is that directed towards you?
So Friday is SAD, Single Awareness Day for me, but Valentine's for you guys. All right, guys. Bye.
From
Love you.
65
Sure to send you a
today,
support
you
message.
can help a Darin find a girlfriend.
Bye. All right. Hope she's not watching this. All right. Bye.